An unemployed drifter from Colorado, called George Nada, travels across America in search of a place in the sun. This is how he ends up in Los Angeles with its tall skyscrapers and great opportunities. The man comes to a job center to find an official job. A lot of people, who are also looking for work, have gathered there. George has an interview and tells a job center worker about his difficult fate. In his hometown, many businesses all closed at once, and people were left without work. The woman listens to George without much interest and says that he doesn't have enough experience to be employed. The man gives a disappointed smile and leaves the job center. As he continues aimlessly wandering the streets of the city, George stumbles upon a preacher and stops to listen to him speak. The preacher emotionally tells a small group of bystanders that demons have captured the minds of the ruling class of the earth and control ordinary people through them. The man urges the listeners to wake up and escape the control of the ruling elites. Noticing the police car, Nada decides to walk on. Along the way, he sees a strange man who, as if hypnotized, is watching a meaningless advertisement on the TV behind the store glass. But Nada doesn't pay too much attention to him and wanders on. Eventually, George finds a temporary center for the homeless and plans to spend the night there. A woman in the house next door is mesmerized by a TV show about a narcissistic star who believes they will never grow old. George is tired, so he leans back in his chair and sighs heavily, immersed in his thoughts. The following day, George visits a construction site and tries to get a job there as a laborer. At first, the foreman refuses to take Nada, because they only allow workers who are a part of the trade union. However, George looks convincing, so the foreman negotiates the salary and hires him. Like everyone else, the man begins to work in the sweat of his brow. Although the issue of his employment has been resolved, he will only be able to get the money in a few days, so he has nowhere to spend the night once again. One of the workers, named Frank, notices the frustrated rookie and offers to show him a place with food and a warm shower. At first, Nada is distrustful of his new acquaintance, but soon decides to follow him. Along the way, the men manage to find something to talk about and bond over. Frank brings the drifter to a camp and introduces him to friendly locals who have come to Los Angeles in search of fortune from all over the world. It is customary here to help each other, even children feel comfortable in this camp. One of the local men named Gilbert immediately gives George a task to make the camp cozier. It is time to have lunch, and George is given a large portion of hearty food. During the meal, Frank tells George about his life. Just like George, he moved to another city to find work to be able to provide for his family, who remained in Detroit. Frank is angry at the local elite who have lined their pockets with money and closed nearly every factory in his hometown, putting hundreds of people out of work. The man has already lost all his patience, and he is ready for drastic measures if at least one more plant closes.